In the Impact segment tonight, liberal pundits and the mainstream media have been relatively silent about President Obama's controversial drone policy compared to the outrage they displayed over the Bush administration's use of enhanced interrogation techniques. But now, far-left professor Cornel West is calling out President Obama and using some very fiery rhetoric to do it.
The chickens are coming home to roost. We've been talking about this for a good while. The immorality of drones dropping bombs on innocent people. It's been over 200 children so far. These are war crimes. I think we have to be very honest. Let us not be deceived. Nixon, Bush, Obama, they're war criminals.
Joining us now from Washington, D.C., Medea Benjamin, co-founder of Code Pink, an anti-war group that disrupted the Senate hearings over CIA nominee John Brennan. Medea, a war criminal? Really?
Well, I think we have to acknowledge that there are the killing of thousands of people, hundreds of them children, that this drone policy is terrorizing entire populations. I was recently in Pakistan and saw what it's like for people to be living under drones 24 hours a day, and the fear that instills in people, and that this has become the best recruiting tool for extremist organizations and is making us less safe here at home. So I think it's important to speak out and call for a change in the policy.
Medea, slow down. Wait a second. How is it making us less safe at home to kill people who want to kill us, to kill terrorists?
We can only identify 2% of the thousands of people we've killed, Juan. Every time we kill innocent people, we are creating new recruits for al-Qaeda. People have told us that in Pakistan. They've told us that in Yemen. They said every time a drone strikes and kills an innocent person, 10, 20, 30 more people are going to join al-Qaeda. And now we see al-Qaeda spreading not only in Yemen, but in northern Africa.
Now, Medea, slow down. You know that people are not joining al-Qaeda primarily because of drones. If you have people who are unemployed, destitute, angry at their own leadership, angry at the world, religious fanatics, okay. But that's just not true. And let me just say this to you. The Congress has approved, given the president authority to go after terrorists and kill those terrorists. This is what the Congress has asked our commander-in-chief to do. And if you have an alternative, if you're saying, oh, you know what, Juan, send in the troops. Now, let's talk about living in fear. If those people want to be in war-ravaged countries with American troops on their doorsteps, as opposed to an occasional drone strike. So I don't understand why you would sit there and say, oh, you know what, this is causing terrorism for those people. We are fighting terrorism.
We are using terrorism on innocent people and innocent communities. Juan, I invite you to go with me to the tribal areas in Pakistan and talk to people. When the Pakistani people say 3 out of 4 of them think the United States is their enemy, it's precisely because of those drone attacks. The same thing in Yemen. We are causing people to join al-Qaeda. Talk to the young people in Yemen. They say you are creating sympathy for al-Qaeda with these drones coming out of the sky, buzzing around our neighborhoods, making people afraid to go to school, to weddings, to funerals, to anywhere where they can congregate and be hit by drones. And Juan, you tell me, do you think a secret government program that is killing hundreds of innocent people is good for the security of the United States?
I don't know that it should be done in secret. I think it should be transparent. I have questions about making sure that the documents that authorize it are very clear and consistent. But, Medea, let me just say this to you. Why don't you go with me to Afghanistan, and we'll ask people about what it's like to live with the Taliban, what it's like to live with al-Qaeda, tearing down statues of religious icons, terrorizing women, making it unlivable for people who are trying to start a business. Why don't we talk about that? Instead, you want to blame the United States. I don't understand it, Medea.
Well, I've been to Afghanistan many times, Juan, and I'd be happy to go with you. And I feel that after 10-plus years of occupation there, when we leave, the Afghan people are going to be struggling themselves over who is in control of their government. We can't come in from the outside and socially engineer other people's countries. What we have to do is protect ourselves here at home.
Well, amen.
That's what
and we're protecting ourselves by killing terrorists and doing it strategically, surgically, as opposed to launching a full-scale large-scale war, but you don't seem to agree.
That's just not true. That's just not true. We're creating more enemies than we're killing. We're violating international law and our own Constitution, including Americans overseas with absolutely no judicial process. That is shameful.
Well, let's have an argument, but I don't see how you call the president a war criminal. Medea, thanks very much for commenting.